you were talking a lot about, and this has been something you've talked about for a long time. In fact, I didn't even know about any of this until I saw some of your videos on it, is the 15-minute city stuff. Talk to my viewers about what's going on in Utah specifically with that and how that is going to get rolled out across the whole nation.
Yeah, Utah's awesome.
Ground zero for a lot of crap, which people, again, I have a very national audience. People do not understand. They see the deep red every time the electoral map goes over, and they think Utah's fine, Utah's good. There's a lot of great things here. I love Utah, obviously. I was born, raised here, but there are some crazy crap going down.
Yeah, well, it should raise eyebrows when during the last election we're the only state that moves further left. And if you to understand Utah there's a lot you need to understand. Utah is ground zero for a lot of reasons. This place, it does matter, and I believe it matters. I do have a biblical perspective. I think you can't understand politics without having especially in the day we live, without having a biblical perspective. If there's a God, right? If there's God, if these things are true, if we are in the last days, which everyone cognitively will agree, but then there's cognitive dissonance when you actually sit down and try to put together the pieces together. No one wants to admit it. Mm-hmm. But the fact of the matter is, it is integrated. It is real. But Utah is in the middle of everything. We're more in bed with China than any other state. And there came out an article from the Associated Press, and you can find it's called China Finds an Unlikely Friend in Utah, where it says that China has a bigger foothold in the state than any other state, even to where they can control our legislators, push legislation forward they want, stop legislation they don't want. China is deeply embedded with Utah. Why is that? And again, you can go to Huntsman, you can go to, but it's significant. It matters because there is no greater threat to America than China, right? There is no greater threat. And China is very much, the World Economic Forum, they're just two different tentacles of the same octopus, right? Mm-hmm. It is the model that they're trying to push the world. So that you have that. You've got, the 15-minute cities. And again, 15-minute city sounds awesome in a perfect world. Like, my wife's from New York City. We go to New York City all the time. We love New York. But I'll tell you what, during COVID, you did not want to be in New York. And that was then, okay? You start to roll out stuff like Palantir, where all of a sudden you can't walk out your door, and you have everything smart, everything connected to the internet, and then everything watching you. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? Let's say we walk in this 15-minute city, or we allow it to happen around us. And it's done under a time of peace where let's pretend that the left-right narrative is real, and that the Republicans, the good guys, are in office and there's no threat. Well, guess what? Even in that world of left-right, that pretend magical world, eventually the left will come into power. Eventually there will be another lockdown.
Totally.
What happens in the next lockdown, the next cyber attack, the next, pandemic, whatever you want to call it? When all of a sudden you got a problem with what's going on, and you've got a problem with government. And you just saw what they did in 2020, the tyranny. You couldn't go to work. You couldn't do this. It's crazy how we've forgotten how out of control things got.
And it's only been 5 years.
Yes.
We couldn't go to church. We couldn't go outdoors. We couldn't go to the beach.
So now you're in a smart city, right? So everything's connected. Your water, your gas, your electricity, everything is connected to the internet. And everything is also watching everything. There is, you are always under surveillance,
right?
And then let's not forget about what's coming. Like with what you're like, what is the big thing right now that Elon Musk and all these techies are talking about, including Bill Gates? They're saying in 5 years from now, no more cell phones.
Right.
Okay. People haven't asked, why will there be no cell phones? We're no longer going to communicate. Well, what are these guys all working on? They all have different versions. Neuralink. Okay. Yeah. Where
Super
your
scary.
mind, you will have AI. And this is, again, if all you have to do is take a step back and think about progression, right? What's happening now? AI is rolling out. What is it? 20% of people are not going to have jobs in 5 years, something like that. All of a sudden, you have all these people on universal basic income living in their smart cities, or maybe there's not smart cities, but they're all on universal basic income. I mean, Elon and all these people have said we're going to need that for people to live because AI will replace so many jobs. Well, then Neuralink rolls around, and guess what? You've been sitting on universal basic income. You haven't been working. You're not happy. Well, I've got a solution for you. You can now compete with AI because we're going to put AI in you. Now you can be back in the workforce. Now all of a sudden you have the advantage. So people will welcome this. But again, the danger is when you think about propaganda now, when you're like things popping up on, you're talking about something, boom, an ad pops up. Did that just pop up or did it hear me? Well, what happens when all of a sudden you have AI inside of you? Did that idea come from you? Did it come from AI? Who's running the ship here? One of the things they talk about with this technology is they say they will have the ability to create pleasure and pain.
Yeah, hook into your receptors.
Yes. I mean, and people just don't think about what happens when you're in your smart city. And literally your thoughts are able to be perceived by this AI. And it has the ability to even create pain. I'm sorry. I've read the Gulag Archipelago. My wife's Jewish. I've studied what happened in the Holocaust. I know what tyrants are capable and the sickness, the thrill they get off creating pain in people. Mm-hmm. Okay. Look, and this is why you can't not see biblically how this stuff is connected. But the fact of the matter is, why should people be concerned about this stuff? Because you're living in la la land if you don't see what evil people are capable of doing. And if you don't see how this technology, how this world that is coming together can be used for wrong and bad. It's just, and especially the thing that concerns me, why aren't we having conversations about this stuff that's being rolled out? Why are there no conversations on the public forum?
Yeah, true. It's just kind of undecided. We just kind of decided it's a great thing because it's progress forward instead of talking about it.
Yeah, we are moving into a technocracy, which means you have these tech giants working with politicians, owning politicians, deciding for us. They're creating this new world. And we're not involved in the conversation. We're moving from we the people having the power and us controlling politicians, us controlling the world around us, which we still do. Right? Again, this big, beautiful bill, this whole thing with Mike Lee. We came together, left, right together and said, hell no, we don't want it. And guess what? We shut it down. Mm-hmm. We still have that power. But where we are moving, the decisions that are being made, we're not being included in. And people should be very concerned about that. So again, I think we're headed to some very, very, I just honestly think very dangerous places as a human race. And I think people have their heads, just like in Rome, bread and circus. And where is a lot of the circus? It's in our politics. It's the distractions around us. It's in our phone. No one's thinking about these real issues because we're so worried about men and women's sports. So that's the smart city. And again, come back to Utah. Well, why Utah? Because we're in the middle of it all. Like Utah's rolling out smart cities. The point when we confronted the governor, hey governor, what's going on in smart cities? Very calm. Asked him. He freaks out. Yeah. He says there's no such thing. I says, hey, well, you know what? There's dialogue on your website about with the World Economic Forum. Oh, there's no such thing as the World Economic Forum. No such thing as the World Economic Forum. You're governor of Utah. And you're lying. You're literally telling me that there's no such thing as the World. You've never heard of the World Economic Forum, and it's on camera. You saying that. If there is nothing nefarious here, Governor Cox, why would you need to lie?
Yeah, just tell the truth.
Right. Literally, when you could get on Google at the time, and when you put a pin there, it literally said the point of 15-minute city. And within a week of that dialogue, that was changed off Google. Yeah. But still, you can go look at the point, look up, and it's all there.
And we've got one going up 10 minutes from here. I mean, me and my wife, we're out of here when that's
it's going on. It's being implemented all over. Okay. So again, there's a lot to cover here, and we're jumping, but sure. But so smart cities, the United Nations. Okay, the United Nations Agenda 2030, all the SDGs. That's where a lot of this stuff originates from. That is, the United Nations is very focused on a global, one world government, one world religion. I mean, it's all in their documents. Ezra Taft Benson, who used to be Secretary of State, called it planned tyranny. They used to, people, it literally has its foundations. I mean, when you dig into it, the satanic elements of the United Nations are through the roof.
Totally.
Again, you can't not see it if you have eyes. If you just go look at it, you don't have to have eyes to see. It's all there. Well, isn't it interesting that the only place the United Nations meets outside of New York City in America is Salt Lake?
Really?
Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah. No, the United Nations and Utah are very much in bed together.
Wow.
In fact, if you go see some of our shows, you can see, you go right on the United Nations websites of the SDGs and how they're rolling a lot of these smart cities and digital twin cities, which is basically where instead of traveling, you're going to virtually travel. And then we can take you right to UDOT, to Utah's web pages, and show you the exact same plan being implemented here.
Whoa.
Like we are the test state. Why? For the same reason we have politicians like Mitt Romney, John Curtis. I mean, you go down the list. Cox. We are a state that has been, and I use this word intentionally, programmed to be blindly obedient and trusting to authority.
Growing your business is amazing, but it's very, very difficult. Accountants, sales guys, marketing specialists, they're all essential for scaling your business, but it can be incredibly expensive, and the quality of the talent that you're looking for can be lacking. And that's why I partnered with Leverage Assistant. Leverage Assistant connects American businesses like yours with those accountants, data analysts, marketing specialists, sales assistants, you name it, working in the exact same time zones as your business for a fraction of the cost. The average company right now is saving over $20,000 in labor costs with Leverage Assistant. Leverage Assistant isn't a recruiter. It's not a marketplace. It is a high-touch resourcing solution. Every assistant is vetted through 12 hours of interviews, skill tests, reference checks, and behavioral assessments to ensure that they're the right cultural and operational fit for your business. Right now, they're being incredibly generous with just my viewers. They are giving all the businesses with me just 1 month completely free. You don't have to pay at all. You get 1 month to see how great the talent is for yourself. Go check it out right now. In order to get that great deal, go to the link in the description below.
So, and we could go down issue after issue with Utah. Again, all the natural resources. Utah matters. I really believe, and again, you look in Utah County, we're pushing out a lot of the stuff that is being used for digital ID. We're one of the first states that pushing out digital ID. Mm-hmm. We have digital driver's license right now, and the way the digital driver's license are already rolled out is so that, let's say you go and you want to go anywhere you go to use it. Let's say you go to whether it's anywhere where they need your ID. What'll happen before you get the green light when you go to use your ID? Let's say you didn't have the vaccine. Let's go back to 2020. You want to go to a football game and you need your passport or you need to have your vax. When you go to the stadium, they'll scan your digital ID. When they scan your digital ID right now, they scan it. They see nothing. Well, what'll happen is in the system that Utah has implemented, they scan it. It goes back to the database at the state, and the state gives either thumbs up, you're good, or thumbs down. But the state also knows everywhere you're going with that.
So the private vendor doesn't even know why it's a thumbs up or down. It's just simply like the state's
They
just
may.
no.
They may. I mean, that's between them, what information the state wants to give them. But the fact of the matter is, right now your ID is just a card. It's physical. It's on you. It just has this basic information. But all of a sudden, it's now could be tied to your vaccines. It could be tied to your social credit score. Mm-hmm. Are you a good And again, why is it Utah seems to be so progressive on all these things? So, Utah's a state, and if you really want to understand Utah, why Utah matters so much, and this is a rabbit hole I'm not going to send you down now, but I will tell you, we've done shows on it.
Okay. And
it comes down to there is a very dark underbelly in this state. DC has it. Okay, the three states with that have these dark underbellies: DC, Hollywood, and Utah. Utah's an interesting place. It has, of all the that happens only in this state, most people are not going to report it. Most of it goes unreported. But what does get reported, where does that put Utah nationally? And you can go to AI, go check it out. Utah is ranked second highest in the country for sexual abuse. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here? When you start to put all these pieces together, like there's something more happening here. It's not just a bunch of dumb politicians. There's something much more deeper, and that's where you get into the Epstein stuff. And I will tell you that stuff is real. The P. Diddy stuff. Again, it's Hollywood.
Who got out of it, by the way?
Yeah, of course. Of course. And this goes
Crazy.
back. Of course. No, this is the point. This is the point. They are sworn to protect each other. Okay? David Hamblin. All right? And for those who don't know who David Hamblin is, you want to understand what the real corruption in Utah? Look up David Hamblin, the Hamblin victim statement kids, the girls. He admitted on camera to raping his daughter. You could go down person after person, he's whatever, and yet never convicted. Like, this is a guy that without doubt should be behind bars. Mm-hmm. But there's a level of evil in this country, in this world, where people they protect each other. And that is then when we talk about the heart of the real issue, the heart of the battle, the light and dark, that is the reality. And this is a state where the predominant religion, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, has been warned about secret combinations, been warned about ether that when you awaken your awful situation about these secret combinations, which literally shall be among you. And it talks about exactly what they look like. And yet here we are, the one state that should be the most awake to it. Mm-hmm. I am telling you, there's three places in this country where these things are the most prevalent. The heart of the country, the capital, the political heart of the country, DC, the cultural heart of the country, Hollywood, and the spiritual heart of the country, which I believe is right here. And those three places have become saturated by this kind of darkness. And that is why Utah is in the middle of everything.
The progressive left is a cult. They act like a cult. They do crazy things like a cult. And I talk all about it in my book, A New Cult. Go check it out right now. It's only $9.99 on Amazon. I talk about some crazy stories that I know you'll enjoy seeing. The link is in the description below.